As Alex Salmon's body comes back to us, a ceremonial welcome, but nevertheless was flown back by a private plane, the revelation of Labour Party staff campaigning in the US for Kamala Harris, or apparently campaigning, 100 Labour Party staff have been apparently sent to the US to campaign for Kamala Harris in swing seats, in swing states. It's ignited a storm of criticism, particularly from Republicans who accused the party of election interference, particularly as the rumours suggest that Trump has the edge. The controversy stems from a LinkedIn post by Labour's head of operations, Sophia Patel, in which she advertised opportunities for nearly 100 Labour staff to head to key battleground states like North Carolina, Nevada, Pennsylvania and Virginia, and the post has since been deleted, possibly in response to the mounting scrutiny. However, its content continues to ripple through political circles on both sides of the Atlantic. US Republican figures such as Senator Tom Cotton and Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, yes, her, have been swift in their denunciations, labelling the move as foreign interference in American elections, and Cotton even suggested that this is yet another reason to vote for President Trump. While Greene sharply called out Labour for not focusing on domestic issues, particularly immigration, and urged them to fix your own problems rather than meddle in US affairs. But the whole thing looks sordid and disgraceful. And one would have thought that a newly ensconced Labour Party would have had better judgment than this. There are serious legal and ethical questions surrounding this situation. Under US federal law, foreign nationals are prohibited from making contributions or expenditures in connection with any federal, state or local elections. You know, Farage was travelling close to the bone, but this goes well over it. There's a legal grey area, of course, when it comes to unpaid volunteering, which may explain why Labour staff, who are reportedly travelling on their own time and without direct compensation, are not necessarily in violation of these laws. But despite this, the optics are damaging, particularly for a party like Labour that insists on maintaining neutrality in foreign matters. Guido Fawkes, a UK political blog, claims that Democrats rather than Labour are funding the accommodation and logistical support for these volunteers. And if true, this further complicates the narrative as it shifts some responsibility away from Labour, still raises questions about the propriety of such collaboration. And Labour's involvement at an organisational level through figures like Patel remains problematic. It's unclear how this initiative aligns with Labour's foreign policy stance, especially at a time when Labour's new leader, Keir Starmer, seeks to present himself as a pragmatic leader focused on domestic issues. This is a mess. Critics are quick to draw historical comparisons. Former Trump staffer Sebastian Gorka pointed out the irony of Starmer allowing this kind of interference, asking what would Starmer think if President Trump sent a team to campaign against him in the UK. This hypothetical situation underscores the broader implications of foreign involvement in elections and sensitivity of such actions. What if it had been Russia? The potential fallout for Labour could be significant. While it's unclear if there will be any legal repercussions, the political damage is much more immediate, and this threatens our, quote, special relationship. The timing is particularly unfortunate for Starmer, whose party recently won a commanding victory in Parliament. Such actions may tarnish Labour's image internationally and domestically, especially given that this incident comes just ahead of critical policy announcements, including Rachel Reeves' maiden budget. In the broader context, the parallels between Kamala Harris and Keir Starmer are striking yet imperfect. Both politicians emerge from prosecutional backgrounds and represent elite constituencies. Harris from California, Starmer from a central London seat. However, Harris's public image, clouded by ambiguity and by a lack of clear policy direction, contrasts sharply with Starmer's more defined, albeit equally unclear and uninspiring, positions. For Harris, this Labour-assisted effort comes at a time when her campaign needs to solidify its message, particularly to swing voters. If anybody was going to help Harris, it should have been Tony Blair and Alistair Campbell, not Keir Starmer. whose election was by default rather than by commission. He won because people turned against the Conservatives. Tony Blair won because he had a message. Ultimately, this incident highlights both the interconnectedness and the fragility of US-UK political relations. It raises critical questions about foreign influence in elections, while also serving as a reminder of the potential consequences of those who misstep in this highly scrutinized world of international politics. And be in no doubt, this is a major Labour misstep. This is a gaffe which will have far-reaching consequences, particularly if Trump is elected to the White House. This is stupidity at a level that even Liz Truss could not countenance or manufacture. Labour's miscalculation, whether through oversight or international coordination, will serve as a case study in the risks of election involvement beyond one's borders. And it's not going to look good for Britain.